mind that, you see, there's the religion above all religions, which is one for all. There is a religion which is above all religions, and that is one for all. And that is truth, given out by all masters. Whenever they came, we forgot it. That's all. So when I go everywhere. They invite me, they love me and I love them, you see. Perhaps their love is reciprocal or my love is reciprocal, I don't know. But they do love me and I love them. When I go there, I see I'm at home. Because for the very truth, they are also standing for. But while standing for, also they have got the two formations, watertight compartments. Sometimes in the jealousness of that watertight compartments, they find divisions, you see, unfortunate. But I take them from the religion, you see, which is above all religions. Religion word purely means, means back, legio to bind back our souls to God. This religion is above all other religions, which are meant for this very high religion. We are already one, unfortunately forgotten. Masters see only from the level of that. As a man, or as a soul, or the higher truth. That's all. This duality has been shaken off by the grace of my Master. I love all you see. So we are worshippers of truth, you see. Bring out that very truth which is given. Pity it is that they have forgotten it. That's all. When I go there, they claim me as their own, you see. And first I claim them as my own. That's it. So there's no dearth of outer forms of religion, you see. But all these outer forms of religion are meant for that higher religion, which is one not truth. We should have always that ideal before us. There can be no duality, no strife, no concussion, anything goes on. Pity it is that we do take up the way. Apparently we try to follow that higher religion. But for want of practical progress, we do not have that at home, you see, at our hearts. The present day is an age of practical life, is it not? People don't believe unless there is something practical. So we must have, you see, all our truth in a practical way. And that will appeal to all, you see. But this truth will, you see, prevail. Times are changing. And that's the only thing which can appeal to everybody. That's the only ground on which all of us can sit together. So I wish each one of you see, to be practical. Don't try to reform others, you see, reform your own self. When you are reformed, all the world is reformed. If If anybody hates you, you love him. After all, he will come up. If any man bows down, well, that affects him most. If anybody has done anything wrong to you, if you also stoop down, you do harm, more harm to yourself also. This is what my master once wrote to me. In satsang, many kind of people come up. Some come up only to criticize. Others come out of devotion. He says, if a bad man does not leave off his bad habits, why a good man should leave his good habits? The man who thinks that way, if he returns the kind in the same way as he receives, that is not good. If you sense any evil, you return it with love, that's all. That will give you peace first, then to others. When you hate anybody, it may not be outwardly, at heart, that reacts in his heart first. So we should have air-conditioned hearts, you see, which no heat should penetrate. That's all I can say. Once it so happened, you know, in the life of Buddha, some man came up. He began to call names like anything. Well, it grew dark at night. When he came, that he was going back. And Lord Buddha told him, look, your friend, hear me first. What do you want to talk about? Well, look, I ask you one question. If anybody brings any present to give to somebody and he does not accept it, with whom that remains? Yeah, of course you have brought it. So dear friend, the present that you have brought, I do not accept. That will change your life first. Mind that. That is the criterion, mind that. Mind say, all right. So they say, no, tit for tat. So that should not be. If anybody does it, he is going down, mind that. When you give return the other way, well, that's God's grace on you, I think. And God is more pleased. So the God is master too. It's a very simple thing, you see. For one slight shortcoming, we go on like spoiling our own life. That's all. I do not mean to say that those who are doing hatred, they are good, doing good. No, they are also not doing good. They are harming their own self. You see. Where the fire burns, that earth is first heated, then others get heated. It is to have a pity of one's own self, I would say, to save oneself. To find God is not difficult, I think. To make a man is difficult. God himself is searching man. He does not find man. If two beasts fight, he tries to kill him with the horns, the other tries to kill both. Well, what's the difference between a man and an animal? Man is the highest in all creation. In God and man. Even if you don't take up the spiritual way, I tell you honestly, you live up to these things, you find peace. You have transvision. You can foretell things. To be spiritually something, and that's a very good ground where the spirituality can dawn. Spirituality is just knowing oneself and be cognizant of God all the time. This is what is spiritual. Well, I'm telling you no new things. The same old things are given in our scriptures. We don't try to follow, understand. Even we have understood, we don't put in practice. You begin to love, you'll find change in your own self, say after a few months. Those very things which appear to be very bad in the past, they appear to be good. His heart speaks, by radiation he speaks, his eyes speak, because thoughts are potent than the words. Silence speaks more than words, because thoughts are potent, thoughts radiates. Thoughts such that radiate only of the kind which quality is within you, charged by that quality. You'll find an atmosphere charged like anything. There's no foe mind, our own mind is foe. No idea. Even the very atmosphere begins to resound, you see. This is what Christ meant when you shut up yourself in a closet and this and that. Shutting up in a closet means wholly and solely in your thought you be within. When more than one sit together in that way, how great radiation there will be. Satsangs are meant for that. Satsangs are of the master, not individual. That by radiation helps you. More than love is devotion. Devotion is more than love. Love burns the lover, and devotion burns the one he is devoted to. He takes all the burden. So faith in the Master, you see, is a great blessing. That goes to sprout for spirituality for me. Man can work wonders. And mind that Master does not make you slaves of you, mind that. He makes friends of you. He has respect for the God in you. He treats all alike. High and low we have made, God has made all equally with the same privileges. But that requires no, I think, intellectual efforts. Very common sense. Live up to it, you'll find. Man who does it is done in their paid, you see. And that gives you peace of heart. That is why Christ said, love thine enemy. Those people went to him, what should you do with enemies? What your law says? He says that tooth for tooth and nail for nail. And he said, on account of your hard-heartedness, he gave that command he was given. I will love thy enemies. That is higher religion, you see. That is why I said the religion higher than all religions. And that is truth. That is love, that is life, that is light. And those who follow the masters, they don't walk in darkness, they walk in light. Not the light of the Son of Man, but the light shining through him. You are worshipper of that. I wish if I could go deep down into your hearts to convince you, to give you an impetus to be just start that way. The sooner the better. But you get strength if you simply become receptive. Let you abide in him, that's the only way. You abide in him only when you remember him. What you remember out of sweetness, that reacts. That reaction, you abide in him. And you receive that Godhead, you see, through receptivity. That is why it is said spirituality cannot be taught, but caught. The more devotion, the more surrender we have, the more spiritual we can become. Even the worst of men can be. Pity it is we don't surrender, we are not devoted. While saying we have love for somebody, they are not devoted, they have got other devotion somewhere. And what is that? Our master used to say, somebody will talk evil of him. Those who are in their zealousness, I'm very glad they remember me. You see? They remember me, you see. Once he went to a village. In the beginning there's almost controversy, you see. He went out there and the people just received him with stones. When the satsang was carrying the 2 stones. Then we returned, he said, well, I thank you. You give me a very good reception. Thanks for it. Now these words they were changed. So you love having. In the beginning some people do have, you see, for want of right understanding. You must be true to your own self and to the God within you, that's all. I love God. Many problems will be solved. What is good, do at once. What is evil, delay. Make it a point. Leave it to somebody. I met there was a fight going with the troll people, you see. Some Italians in the Tyrol area, you see, they have control over that. Those people, governor over there, and the peoples, there were daggers down, they would just revolt. They had the bombs and everything there. I met the governor. We had a 1-hour talk. He said, I'm none of what to do, I don't follow. I told him it's delay. You see? Light will shine. And what happened? They are now in correspondence. War was not broken. So it can work wonders within our own self, you see. Well, what does it cost then? How much does it cost? Mind that I love for all, you see. Even you fight, I love for the both. I tell you honestly. I love for those who are awakened, who have got the right understanding. And for the others, I love for pity's sake. I want to raise them up. You see, Master saying that their very brevity is the soul of, you see, I think, truth. Master never say long yarns, you see. They say few words. And those few words are pregnant with meaning. We never dwell on them, you see. Love and all things shall be added unto you. Only few words. How all things can be added into you. Have you gone to try it and see? Practice it and you'll find. People do not realize the truth of it. Take one thing. Take love, for instance. Take truthfulness. You change. And highmost, you see, I will say, when you come in contact with the God in action power, Nama, Shabda, all virtues find an abode in you. They come of itself. One by self-introspection, the other by coming in contact with the God in expression power. Naturally you come. Right? Right? Well, then they have it. Don't start them and talk goes on them. Why waste this?
So I am happy to introduce great lady, Madam Ardevi.
Great lady or big lady?
Big lady. Great lady, big lady.
How did you, all right? Alice, where's your sister?
She was at the meeting this afternoon, Pastor.
That's all. Yeah, huh?
ਕੀ ਪੜਾ
Puro.
ਨੰਬਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ
कोई प्यार करना पड़े
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਸਮਝ ਆਣਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਿਸ਼ੂਣੀ
already relation तो है साकिया वो मैं अपना
लोग दादे को सुना देंगे
yeah, it is prayer before the master to give us one peg of wine, you see, of God intoxication. She's going to
साकिया मैं पिला जो तेरे में खानों में है साकिया मैं पिला जो तेरे में ना तेरे पैमानों में है गोहरे मकसूद सामने तेरे पैमानों में है साकिया वो मैं पिला जो तेरे मैं खानों में है इसमें वो मस्ती मिला जो तेरे मस्तानों में है किस्साए फरियाद मजनू बेअसर है दास्तां
बेअसर हो दास्तां
किस्साए फरियाद मजनू बेअसर हो दास्तां जल के मर जाने की हसरत अब भी परवानों में है जल के मर जाने की हसरत अब भी परवानों में है साकिया वो मैं पिला जो तेरे मैं खानों में है इसमें वो मस्ती मिला जो तेरे मस्तानों में है मतलब समझा
One more, please.
पिछो पढ़ो
हैं?
चलो और बात जो पिछो पढ़ लो You know, God is an ocean of all intoxication. And those who are the mouthpiece of God, they also are the, what you say, roaring waves of intoxication. This is a prayer. For that we come to the Masters, those who are the mouthpiece of God, whose soul drinks deep into the intoxication of God, who radiate, overflow with that intoxication. We pray to Him, "Oh Master, give us one peg of that intoxication." You, like a tavern, the man gives to everybody. You kindly also give us one peg like that. You see. By drinking which we forget everything. And in that you may add the intoxication of those who were overflowing with that intoxication. And you prayed that, "Oh Master, I have been searching for it in all temples, in all everywhere, but did not find Him. But when I came to you, you gave me one cup. With one draught of you, I got intoxication, you see." So much so, there are two stories go in India, you see. One was a Farhad, who was lover of a princess. He wanted to marry. So he was what's he, very mad in love for her, you see. And he was giving out here, there, everywhere, I will marry her, this and that thing. That looked very awkward to the king, you see. He said what to do, he just consulted his minister, you see, what to do like that. You know, always tell him just bring a canal down from the Himalayas down. Let him, he will die in that effort, that's all. So he began to just excavate a canal from the Himalayas, from the mountains, just to pass under that very house, I mean that mansion in which she lived. Well, you see, love knows no burdens, no hardships. He did so and was successful. No, the king had no other alternative. Then again he consulted, you see, his minister what to do. And Mrs. tell Oleg, just send out the rumor that princess had died. When this rumor reached him, he took the action, put a strike in his own head and died. And in the meantime, what happened, when the princess heard about it, she fell down from the roof and died. This is such like madness of, it is very madness, you see, extremes, that this should also put into shadow. You see, such like intoxication you may give us, that this story of the Farhad should be eclipsed, you see. Another story goes of the Majnu. He was lover, you see, of a princess like that. What? Laila, yeah, somebody, Laila. So, he was so much in love, you see. She used to give every day alms on Thursdays to all people, whoever came to him. He also one day just joined those beggars, just to approach him and get some alms. To everybody, she gave something. And he had a cup in his hand, this Majnu. When he came, his turn came, he tried underneath and threw the cup down that was broken. And he was very jolly. Oh, he was dancing in happiness. People are saying, oh, well, what have you given you? Given you. She has given you nothing. She has only broken your cup. Oh, you don't know what she has given me. She has told me that unless you break off this cup of body, you see, you forget your own body consciousness, until then you are not fit for the love. It so happened once, when he entered the town where Laila lived, you see, well, he used to kiss the very ground where she passed. The very walls and the corridors of the houses of the town, because in that Laila lived, you see. Once he was seen by somebody, he was kissing the feet of a dog. People asked him, what are you doing? Oh, I saw this dog someday going in the street of my Laila, you see. This extreme madness of love. He said, this story may also be eclipsed. Give me just such an intoxication that throws all these things in shade, he said out. So see, this intoxication we go to Master to get. Not performing rites, rituals, this and that. That is religion above all these things, isn't it? And after all, the Master, you see, Shamas Tabriz, he said, if I leave the body, and my body is cut into pieces and put as a manure in some field, the corn that will grow out of that land, he has not mentioned anything about those who will eat the bread made out of that corn, But he says, whoever bakes the bread and whoever serves on the table, they will be intoxicated. So this is what we are after, you see. That is already within us. But when we just come in contact, we are just getting impetus, flared up. So life comes from life like that. No books can give you. No outward performance can give you. This is what Master says, you see. In the Srimad Bhagavat, it is given that you cannot find God so easily even by saying prayers, performing rituals, you see, giving alms, controlling your senses to life of continence to, as quicker as you can have by sitting at the feet of God. That really life comes from life. You see. So that gives you, when you develop receptivity, by devotion and surrender you can develop this receptivity. You have nothing to do. That very thing becomes a part and parcel of your life. I'm asking you to give one event that these sculptors or the portrait makers, you see, came to China, some foreigners. They approached the king to show their skill. And the king agreed. All right, gave a hall, one wall, all right, you do your painting, whatever you like. Those painters who were also belonged to China, they also came up. Well, kindly, you also give us opportunity to show our skill. All right, they put one curtain between. Big hall, you see. One wall was given to the foreigners, the other was given to the own countrymen. They began to work on the walls. After some time, then that painting was ready. The foreigners went to the king, told him, well, our painting is ready, would you kindly have a visit? All right. He went over there. He saw the painting was very beautiful, you see. He was amazed all over. Then he was coming out, the others also said, would you kindly have a look at ours? All right. And the curtain was taken off, you see. And to the amazement of the king, the very painting which was on the other side, that was also there. Exactly there. And still more clear. Because by hand done something little here, there, little curves you find. But the reflection, even the reflection, that was not there. He was amazed. Oh, what have you been doing? When two men are at competition, you see, they won't let their, you see, let others see it. What did you do? We have done nothing, sir. We have done no labor, simply we are rubbing the wall from day to day so much so that it now reflects. That's all we have done. So it is the love that is, you see, that's a rubbing, you see, that reflects the master within you. It is I, not no I, but Christ within me. That's the devotion, you see. There we are wanting. We may have love. Even we have not love, I tell you honestly. Love knows no burdens. Love beautifies everything. You see. And love and all things shall be added unto you. But devotion is still greater and surrender is still greater. That love is love where there is devotion and surrender. Where there is no devotion and surrender, there is no love. By devotion and surrender, you lose your ego. You reflect the same in you. You become He Himself without any effort. That's the highest of all. As St. Paul said, so Hafiz also says the same thing, you see. Well, strange enough, I've forgotten my body, whether it is I or my master is here. These are the words, you see. You say, by name I am called that, but I am he, and he me. This is what is called Guru Mukh, in the terminology of the master. Guru Mukh, who becomes a mouthpiece of the Guru. That's very God's gift. That becomes the fate of those who have devotion and surrender. This is the highest thing we have to learn. In love too, sometimes you transcend limits, you see. Once I wrote a letter to my master, I remember now, in which I wrote to him, I pray you to give me love. You see? And what sort of love? Which demands no recompense. Selfless love. You see? And such love which does not transcend the limits of respect. Sometimes in love we transcend the limits of respect, you see. So what did he do, you know? He read that letter, put it on his breast. I want such people who want love within respectful moves. So these are the things, you see, we have to learn practically. It is no intellectual inference, you see, it is a matter of living. And such like love, you see, results into devotion and surrender. It is almost practically the same. So we must learn to love, you see. Love which is selfless, which rises into surrender and devotion. You see. When you do that, then who becomes a Guru Mukh? This is what is called to become a Guru Mukh, you see. When master has to take over all the burden, he has nothing to fear. A child who has got a mother, she has nothing to fear, nothing to worry, nothing for the clothes and the eating and this and that. We have to live up to that. You'll find in such a way you'll progress wonderfully. As St. Paul said, you feel that way. Not feel, you see that way. He makes you a flute through which he breathes his life in you and you give out to others. So St. Emerson said, those thoughts which come without thinking, they are always perfect. Master never speaks from the level of thinking, I have to say now this thing, now that thing, they come up itself, always cut and dried. So he is a God in man, that's what we see. Now he does not assert, but it is what Christ said, you see. And all of us masters. I and my Father are one. It is Father that is working through me. He is conscious all the time. Sometimes they have to give up. You see. When the people ask me, well, it would have sufficed if you were speaking always of Father and shown it to us someday. And he grew indignant over it. And asked, well, I have been so long with you, you did not know that it is a Father working through me. And then he went so far to say, who has seen me, he has seen the Father. They are conscious all the time, though they work at the level of man body. You know. So masters come from time to time. The world is not without them, you see, mind that. It's not necessary that they follow the same lineage. No. Maybe here, they are everywhere. That power remains working throughout. And wherever that is, well, you'll find he gives you something to start with. That's the only criterion you can have. But in due course, you begin to discern things within you. Only what is required is obedience. Our Master used to say, the whole life may be spent in search of a God-man. That very period of search will count for devotion. If you come to the right person with the grace of God, your all labors are crowned with success. Then you have nothing to fear. You have to be devoted to Him. And it is God's grace, you see, that is working in this materialistic age. Everywhere. But there is awakening with God's grace. I found it. You see, in my this present door, I found it. Great response everywhere for unity. Religions are trying to make the subsect of the religion merge into one. But what we have taken up now is just not to merge all religions into one, let them remain in their own religions, but they all should sit together for the same higher religion, that is one for all. Remain in their own religion, not to change them, but just follow the religion which is one for all, given out by all masters. These are the words you have to just write down in your hearts, never to forget and live up to them. And you'll find wonderful change. You live and see for yourself. That's all. In the beginning it might appear, oh, what are you finding? You're a fool with such and such when does you wrong and you are simply loving it. Loving does not mean mixing. I mean, just have good thoughts for him. If there is filth in the gutters, that cannot be washed away by blood, cannot be washed away by blood. That filth can be washed away by sweet waters of love. Apparently you may be thinking a loser, you see, but you are not loser, you are gainer. The more you will accept it, I think you will find for your own self you are progressing. You will actually peace of heart. Don't look to the flaws of the other. Try to wash them by love, you see. Tell them privately how wrong. And you'll find also improvement all around you. First your own heart will improve, then others. Then whatever little time you will put for devotion, you will go quicker. Because as I told you, meeting of God is not difficult. Man making is difficult. An ounce of practice is more than top-down theory, isn't it? We should try to change our way of living at homes. And that will give a lasting effect. And substantial change will come. Oh.
No more than 10 o'clock, people have to go. Cold weather, so there will be no meditation tomorrow.
Oh, 10.
But tomorrow at 7:30, Master will be available here for a couple of hours to give a talk.
Tomorrow night.
Yes, tomorrow evening. Everybody working tomorrow, and it's to be done.
What you hear, put them in writing, keep it with you. Otherwise you forget. Try from day to day how you progress. In talks you learn so much, I think, what you cannot learn by reading scripture for so long. The very atmosphere becomes calm and quiet. Shall पढ़ दो second.
Yes.
जो आए पढ़ दो.
Remember the 800 songs.
We are here to be mad now. I think you're talking about madness. That's all right.
मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे.
It so happened once that I went to Amritsar, a place, and Master was expected there to arrive. We were all sitting in expectation of his arrival. And the message came, the Master is not coming. Already thought. Somebody dispersed, I was there. You see, it is also madness, I would say. I wrote this poem, you see. Well, he will come, I will see him with my own eyes. You see. I was going to write this by the time about, I was in madness going on about an hour after, Master came up there. So much is strong attraction of love. This is a poem written at the time, you see.
मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे. मेरे पहलू में आएंगे जिन्हें मैं प्यार करता हूँ.
I must come.
मेरे बाबू अब से फिर मेरी तकदीर देखेंगे, मेरी तकदीर देखेंगे, मेरी तकदीर देखेंगे. मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे. ओ सावन पीर देखेंगे, वो उचदा पीर देखेंगे. ओ सावन पीर देखेंगे, ओ माहे मुनीर देखेंगे. मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे. मेरे पहलू में आएंगे जिन्हें मैं प्यार करता हूँ. मेरे पहलू में आएंगे जिन्हें मैं प्यार करता हूँ. मेरे बाबू फिर से अब मेरी निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे, मोहब्बत की निगाहों से तेरी तस्वीर देखेंगे। भूल गया।
So it so happened he came up, you see, after that. So love is very good power. Like a glass. You see glass, that does not show your face unless you put something behind. So similarly, the love polish at the back reflects your master within, God within you.
अरे जाने वाले इधर देखता जा, अरे जाने वाले इधर देखता जा, इधर देखता जा, इधर देखता जा, खुदा के लिए एक नजर देखता जा, खुदा के लिए एक नजर देखता जा। अरे जाने वाले इधर देखता जा, इधर देखता उधर देखता हूँ, इधर देखता हूँ, उधर देखता हूँ, इधर देखता हूँ, उधर देखता हूँ, सावन ही सावन है जिधर देखता हूँ, सावन ही सावन है जिधर देखता हूँ। ये मुर्गे चमन गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं, ये मुर्गे चमन गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं, सावन ही सावन तू ही तू कर रहे हैं, तू ही तू कर रहे हैं। मैं बेताब हूँ मेरे हरि जी दरिया, मैं बेताब हूँ मेरे प्रभु जी दरिया। खामोशी है दोनों पैर मिल रहे हैं, खामोशी है दोनों पैर मिल रहे हैं, खामोशी है दोनों पैर मिल रहे हैं, पैर मिल रहे हैं। मैं बेताब हूँ मेरे प्रभु जी दरिया, प्रभु जी दरिया। भूल गया।
When the clouds come, the rain falls. See, this is the forerunner of God's coming. When such a pining is there, you see, nothing else remains there between you and the beloved, the Master. Once Friar Salagram, while sitting in the satsang, he came in that manner, the whole satsang began to, you see, matter, got electric.
हो शब्द है ना तीन चार कड़ियां मैं दो तीन याद मैं सुना दूं
कोई नहीं काफी काफी
नहीं
just one day we were just celebrating the death anniversary of a new death short and killed the whole Sangat began to cry. The trend is dangerous. So love is everything. Love with devotion and surrender is the most ideal thing. But love begins with, if you love me, keep my commandments. What right there? That does not cost you anything. You want to lose her, I assure you. You will gain in short time what you cannot gain in life. Because you reflect the whole thing. Like that painter's case. All right, God bless you. That's all right.